YouTube and let's have some fun. How was y'all's weekend? Good, I hope. Let's have some fun. All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. If you are watching us live on YouTube, welcome to today's presentation and information. This is our Monday Mastermind, presented to you by me and our other friends here from the Lost Transition. So what is this? What are we doing here? It's a Monday Mastermind that we've been doing for over 4 years now, and which we come together every Monday. We collaborate, we talk about our wins that are going on, we celebrate each other's success, and then we have an instructional piece that we can learn from. We drop gold nuggets, gold bars, have a little interaction in true mastermind spirit, and then we have some takeaways. So today is week 11, the 90-day sprint. So we've been talking about this since the beginning of the year, even last year, and how we've been counting down these weeks. And if you're not really paying attention, you're not really close enough to the fire. We prepared 52 weeks of conversation for us for this year. Each is strategically placed in order so that we gain momentum throughout the year. And let me see here. Uh-oh. Hold on. I am getting some background. Oh, there it is. Okay. Maybe that was the wife. All right, my apologies. Anyway, so what we've been doing is we've aligned certain sections of these 52 weeks so that as we go every Monday, we show up, get close to the fire, we're introduced to some new things, and literally by the end of the year, you should be quite proficient in all these things that we talk about. So this is week 11. We are right now March 16th. So it's halfway through the first quarter. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the 90-day sprint. There's going to be some things that we're going to discuss you may have heard of before, but I want to put it in relative terms so that it makes sense for everybody that's watching. All right. So that being said, we always like to start the show with our wins from the audience. So would anybody like to get us started with the wins?
I mean, that smell.
All right. Go ahead, Mickey. Is it Mikey or Mickey? I don't want to butcher it. Is it Mikey or Mickey?
Yes, it's Mikey,
Mikey.
I
like
was on my
Mike.
way downstairs. Hold on.
Anybody want to start us off with your wins?
My wins. All right, well, I have been more diligent with um putting my list of networking together. That is where I am still.
Good. Well, that's good. I mean,
Yes.
yeah,
So, I mean, that's much more that I can say for weeks.
right.
So,
Well, it's definitely important to have some kind of team environment, right?
right. And I'm making links and I'm um like joining groups.
Yes.
So I really feel like, I'm spreading myself a little bit and learning more people
Well, good, good.
because I need a base.
Yeah. Well, we talk about this kind of thing quite a bit. And my main thing that I want to say is, yeah, if you're out there and you're trying to do this network marketing thing all by yourself, stop it. Stop it. There are plenty of people that are willing to help or groups of things of that nature that you could get some kind of assistance. You just got to seek it out. As God say, seek and ye shall find, right? Hello, welcome, Dr. Lisa. But thank you, Mickey, first off, for being here, right? You're consistently starting to show up, which is great. And
Mikey.
then Mikey. I got to remember that. Mikey. And then, you know, secondly, well, first off, again, thanks for showing up, being close to the fire. The second thing is just to take little notes, write them down, and then physically apply what you're learning, right? So thank you for being here. Anyone else want to share? their wins?
Yes, I'm super excited. I'm saying I'm my last one aside from you. Um, the I got some work done on the property, the probate stuff that I was working on, have been working on for more than a couple of years, and just talked with someone at the records place who gave me amazing information. I've completed a chart, and I'm super excited about getting this done and submitted. And that's what I got. Let's see. One more. Munchkins. I did a couple of more videos for Munchkins, so I put those out until I get to my 3 o'clock. That will take the place of the Munchkins sometimes, but I'm rolling on them. I got two more to do, and then I'll go to the next phase, and then I will meet with you to discuss rolling it out and getting that started. I think I'm gonna do like for a five a $5 charge for the event because it'll if they pay their money, they will show up. So that's what those are my wins. Back to you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. The house looks beautiful. Glad that you're getting somewhere with that. And then most of all with those munchkins, man. I saw that video yesterday. I loved it. I'm looking forward to doing everything we can to help you get this rolled out successfully, professionally, and have a lot of fun doing it. Thank you for sharing. Dr.
Thanks, Coach.
Lisa, go ahead. Hydra, Jorge.
Did you call me? I'm
I
sorry.
did. You're okay. You're
Oh,
all
okay.
right. The world's all wrong.
Yeah. So, I just before this call, I got a phone call from um a leader in my network marketing group, and she's got a call that she does daily. It's called the Daily Dose, and she asked me to speak tomorrow on the
Nice.
Daily Dose.
How awesome. She loves
And
ABCs too.
I was thinking to myself, she's like, any topic you want, not, but I thought, well, I just did a Zoom on sugar. So I said, let's call it sugar sabotage. Because she was going to name it something like Sugar 101 or all things sugar. I was like, no, 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 no.
Right.
Sugar sabotage.
I love it. I love it. And
So,
congratulations on that. And to add on to that, a lot of people may not realize this, but if you have a resource like that, and you're, tuning in and you get the ability to talk like that, man, that could be a huge difference in your business, right? Most of the times I say that just because of, knowing knowing the industry. A lot of people think that it's an overnight success when in reality it takes about 10 years and then something happens and then automatically now somebody knows who you are and what you're able to do, right?
yeah,
I look at that in my case, like not everybody knows what I can do or how I can help them, right? One day they
exactly.
will. One day they will.
Oh, that's good, Jorge. The poison we love so much.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, the poison we love so much. Yeah. And I don't know either. I'm sure you might be aware of this, but sugar is actually more addictive than drugs are. Crazy enough. Crazy enough.
Yeah, I talked about that on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
That
why I
it,
don't do as
it,
many sweets. Oh, you just reminded me of another win to talk about.
all right now.
Well, I've been cutting down my snacks and sugars and stuff, and those of you that have been paying attention, I'm on this weight loss kind of thing, not strict or anything, but down to 170, baby. Weighed myself yesterday. So at one point in time I was 220. That's quite a big difference there. All right, thank you, Dr. Lisa. I look forward to hearing how it went tomorrow on next Monday and looking forward to you to influence many, many people so that they realize what the danger of addiction to sugar can do to the body. Thank you for sharing that. Virgil, what you got, brother?
Oh, not much, small things, but I'll start by pre-positioning them. I got to say, honestly, I am mentally battered and physically ripped up today, but so happy as well. It's a
Good.
funny place that I'm in. Um, my wins are really described as two words: consistency and resilience. Consistency because everything that I've been doing is just picking up momentum. I got the final edit or the first draft edit of the interview.
Good.
We decided to cut it in three pieces because we're so much content, so that gives us three episodes ahead. And the studio where we're doing this is restructuring also the whole marketing plan, branding, service description. So they never knew what I could do, and I was like, "Oh, well, wait a minute, this is my cup of tea. Let's talk about this because we need to speed up the process." So that landed me another bunch of work,
Love it.
but at the same time, an opportunity because the tandem that we're on is something. Well, what we're doing right now is something that I had started or envisioned doing a couple of years ago, and I had already laid foundation for it. And it was the same thing that they were doing on their side. And I had this idea of electronic magazine that I was building across all these interests, consolidating them under one platform, and then being able to network that conversation in. And the fact that output that podcast is taking shape allows me to have that constant stream of content being built. And to create that momentum, we had to find a formula to invite new and emerging artists. Hence, all the previous network of young artists that I had around me, I am starting to pull back. And I think the greatest, well, my three is my lucky number. And as you guys know, I did the IMI Compass, I did the OVR G Shop, and I had to do this electronic magazine. I turned it into an app based on the community conversation that we are building around where people can come share their content, build that real base of followers, not just bots. And people are reacting very nicely to it. I was in the lab for the past days, just cramming it out to make sure that it's presentable because it needs to be rolled out this week and the momentum needs to pick up. So I thought I was very successful. That was really that consistency and discipline coming together. And resilience is, while all that was happening, of course, life was taking on its course and I got emotionally just whirlwind of emotions. And often enough, the challenge is going through that, still being able to keep the focus and keep the mental in place to apply what you want to meet all the expectation that you have set forward. So yeah, being able to pull through, even though my boat was very shaky, was definitely a success, and still pulling it with a smile. So it's like, you know what, things happen, que sera, sera. My passion drives me, so let's go. So
I
that was
love
my
it.
win.
Love it. And thank you for sharing. Look, there's no doubt in my military mind, brother, that you're going to accomplish many great things. And on the magazine, online magazine idea, I think that's a fabulous idea. I did that back in the day when I was with Builderall. They had the ability to create those online magazines, which was pretty cool. Um, you find out what resource you're going to use or whatever, but the online magazine is a really great idea that could potentially turn into an actual magazine, right? You never really know where that would head. So I love those ideas and I love what you're sharing, brother. Consistency is the key, my friends. Consistency is the key. Thank you for sharing.
Mhm. Pleasure.
Jorge, what do you got, brother?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, when you mentioned that you were working on losing weight and all that, it just made me remember that I made a podcast about losing weight.
Mhm.
And basically, the title or the information was, so you're trying all the diet programs and none of them is working for you. I have a simple I have a simple method and you'll succeed. Just close your mouth.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were going there. I used to say I was on that new diet. Stop shoving crap into your mouth or into your face. But yeah, exactly. Just close your mouth. Choose what you
Yep.
eat.
Yeah, it lasts and
Yeah,
select what you eat. That's definitely the way.
absolutely.
Uh,
I agree.
as to winnings, well, I'm doing pretty good with my network marketing 3.0
Oh, good.
because I work on network marketing 1.0 and 2.0, and I wasn't the best at creating teams. So in 3.0, I'm happy because just with my involvement, just with my investment, I'm making money.
Good.
And 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 in that way, it also has helped me. It made it a little bit easier to invite people to this because in traditional network marketing, you have to buy products or you have to
Right.
get involved in something where you pay your entry fee and then you get a pack or something, and then you have to start inviting people in. Otherwise, you wouldn't make a penny.
Right.
But with 3.0, you just get involved and you start making money.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm happy with this.
Good. Well, good. And congratulations to you. I mean, any chance that you have to earn an extra income, I say go for it, obviously depending on what it is and that it's legal. Right? We don't want to promote something that's illegal, so to speak. But yeah, there's different things. We talk about them all the time. It's very important for those of you that might be watching out there on social media to know what the difference is, especially when it comes to network marketing versus MLM specifically, right? And then there might be things like what you're talking about. I don't know if it's trading exactly. Sounds like it. I could be wrong. But then there's things that you can do by yourself and earn an income without having to recruit people. And it's even funnier when I see people that are trying to recruit people when they don't need to recruit people. Like, oh, no recruitment is necessary. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, then why are you recruiting? So that's beautiful. I mean, if you can go in and do your thing and make money, more power to you, brother. More power to you. I appreciate you sharing and congratulations. Didn't you also recently do another test simulator flight?
Well, I things didn't turn out as I wanted, but hey, the one up there is the one in control. So
This is true.
and he flies the highest and fastest airplane too.
Well, I know
So
I saw a post the other day about you inside the simulator or something to that effect. So I don't know if that was new or not.
uh, that was a while ago. But anyway, uh, the thing is, uh, it is funny. I mean, I've been a pilot in 1977, but because of bureaucracies and the regulations and things, now I'm a student pilot here in the United States. So they are throwing on me all kind of restrictions and things. So we went on a on a cross country flight, and it went good. And then the instructor was ready to let me fly solo, which is a step that I mean it has it's a great thing for somebody that is learning to fly.
Mhm.
But in my case, I'm a little upset that I've had all these training hours, and they still don't let me fly by myself. So this guy was ready to let me fly, and then 5 days ago that was Friday. So 5 days before Friday, I sent the information of my insurance to the owner of the airplane. But guess what? The owner of the airplane was handling the insurance on Friday. So what happened? I couldn't get approved. So and this guy was going for a week to Colorado. So now we will wait a week more. So
Oh, damn.
but it's fine. I mean, I'm okay. It had to be that way.
Yeah. Well, you're preparing yourself, and I like what Virgil put in there too in the chat. He says time spent acquiring skills is never lost, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
And it's true. I have learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know in
Good.
my in my becoming a pilot in Colombia. It's a little difficult, a little different. Yeah,
Good. That means you'll be safer to take us back and forth.
that's true. That's my goal, to be safe and proficient.
We want to arrive alive for sure. Arrive alive for sure. Well, thank you for sharing, Jorge. I appreciate that. Anybody else have any wins they want to share before we dive into this content? No? Okay. So for me, a couple wins. I got a little bit more done on Muster Us. It was a little frustrating dealing with Claude this week, but we did get some things accomplished. A little bit more on the lost transition. Hopefully that'll be ready in about a week. I had some bad but good information is how I'm gonna put it when I went to the dentist. So for me, if you don't know, prior military, um, veteran of the United States Army. When I got out, I didn't have any benefits at all, right? However, going through the process, becoming a disabled veteran and stuff because of my neck and my back, I ended up getting disability and dental, which I'm super excited about because I hadn't been to a dentist since I was in the military. So it had been a long, long, long time. So I had both negative reports, but I take them as negative and positive. So we went in, gonna have a root canal on this one. It's kind of funny to me when I was talking to the dentist. I was like, I bet nobody's called and requested a root canal, right? It's like nobody wants a root canal, but I keep having sensitivity in my teeth, cold and hot, so I requested a root canal. When I went to the dentist, they're saying that I got a lot of bone loss. So I'm getting old, I guess, because now they're going to recommend some partials, not denture or whatever, but they're going to be doing a bridge on my top teeth and my bottom teeth, which I found kind of interesting. Uh, they said because of the bone loss, they couldn't really do, permanents to drill them into there or whatever else. But the next best thing is a bridge. So we're going to remove a bunch of teeth. Uh-oh. But we're gonna get a bridge. And I told the dentist, I said, but you'll make it so my teeth are straighter, right? And I got a prettier smile, right? He said, absolutely, Robert. I said, all right, let's do it. I said that, yeah, I'm gonna take your experience because you're the boss, you're the one that knows, you're the dentist, right? Let's go with your recommendation. Let's do that bridge. Let's do this. Let's do that, and let's get it started. So I'm nervous but excited. You know what I mean by that, right? Most people fear the dentist. For me, I'm like, oh, yeah, I get to go to the dentist. So I'm looking forward to getting that taken care of and soon have some new pretty teeth. Or do you have something to add to that? So that was
Yeah,
one.
I have a comment on that, and it's
Okay.
that uh, many doctors, the same as dentists, their main goal is money. So
Normally,
you
yes.
might not, well, in the case of the root canal, I guess you need it,
Mhm.
but you might not need to go to the dentist.
Well,
I have a
mhm,
pilot friend with 102 years of age with great denture.
mhm,
And what he does the water pressure on cleaning his teeth.
mhm,
And I asked a dentist if that was good to do, and he told me no.
mhm.
So there he goes.
Right.
So and I've been listening to some dentists that actually go the other way, say, well, you need to use certain things to prevent damage your teeth because they rejuvenate themselves and things like that. So it's interesting. I decided that I'm not going to the dentist anymore either.
It actually is interesting that you say that, Jorge, and without going down the rabbit hole too much, it's been said that our wisdom teeth actually have regenerative properties, but yet
Yes.
the dentists have us take it out saying that we don't need it. Even funnier, like I have, not to give you too much information, but up here on my left-hand side, I actually even have an extra tooth, which not everybody ends up having. But anyway, when I was talking to the dentist, he told me specifically, and I believed him, his body language, his message. He said, honestly, Robert, like we don't get paid a whole lot of money for this, but what's best for you instead of trying to pull all your teeth out, put dentures, is a bridge. So I do feel wholeheartedly that he is looking out for my best interest. It's not just about the money. And then I even asked him one important question. I said, can you see the vision? He said, yes. I said, okay. As long as you can see the vision, then we'll get it done. So that's just my 2 cents
My
about that. We're
my
gonna
my
trust them.
last comment.
Sure.
I've been 14 years here in Texas.
Mhm.
When I was in Florida, my dentist referred me to another guy, a periodontist or something,
Yeah,
and he
periodontic.
showed me the map that they'll show you with all your teeth and thing, and
Mhm.
he put like eight X on it,
Yeah.
and he said all those teeth need to be removed.
Mhm.
So when I received those, I said, you know what? Leave them there. They will fall when they have to fall.
Right.
But
Sure.
I didn't go for that. And you know what? I still have those teeth now.
Good. Congrats. Good, good, good. Well, I do know that I have issues. Like this one, I could tap and it hurts. So they're sensitive mostly on this side here. So like I said, for me, I'm happy and excited, and I call it a win just because I can have dental procedure done and not have to pay a bunch of money out of my pocket. I know that I had to take care of my wife's dental procedure, and it cost me at least 2 grand just to pull some teeth, and we're still paying on it. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
June we'll be done with those payments. So, but yeah, it can,
Infection. Yeah. Infection is what take away your bone.
yeah,
So controlling infection actually
yeah,
keeps our bone in there. So
sure.
that's the only thing. Well, I shut up now.
No, 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 it's okay. You don't have to like shut up is not a word in my vocabulary. I don't like shut up. Be
Well,
quiet is always great, but you
I'll be
don't even have to be
silent.
quiet. I appreciate your feedback, brother. I really do. I really do. And thank you for sharing. All right, guys, let's dive into this because as I said, this is going to be pretty important information that we've been sharing throughout these weeks. Today is going to be even more important because this is week 11. The 90-day sprint is what we're going to be talking about. So before I get too deep into this, you may have heard, you may have even seen people, if you've been in the network marketing arena for any amount of time, talking about these 90-day runs or these 90-day sprints. Anybody raise your hand or say yes? You guys have seen this stuff, probably. I would hope so. Right. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and why this strategy is very important, how you can use it to your ability and or to your best ability, and also how you're able to accomplish things given this 90-day sprint if you do it the right way. Okay. So that's what we're going to dive in today. Make sure that you guys take notes. We will be dropping some gold, I'm sure of it. So 90-day sprint. I want to talk to you guys about how to accomplish in 90 days what most people don't do in a year. And when I read that and I put this together, it was funny because it kind of reminded me of my military service, right? And Dre, you might understand this one more than anybody else. But I remember back in the day, there were commercials for the United States military, and they would say, "We do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day." I don't know if you remember that commercial or not, but it really stuck into my brain, obviously, even to this day. And when you understand some of the things that we're going to cover, you'll have that motivation, like being in the military, to want to accomplish these 90-day sprints so that you accomplish whatever that further goal is. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Make sure you guys take some notes. So here's the problem with annual goals. We briefly talked about it, not necessarily in this fashion, but we talked a little bit about losing weight, right? It is March. We just had a new year. Most people go through their New Year's resolutions, and by this time, phew, they've all failed for the most part, right? But January 1st, this is my year. That's when we all start saying, we're going to make a change. We're going to do something else. And then here we are, March 16th. And probably on the 1st is where he said, where did January go? Right? We're already 11 weeks into the year, guys. So here's the truth. A year is way too long. It is, right? Think about the attention span of gnats that we are. Your brain can't stay focused for 365 days a year. It's almost physically impossible, right? You lose urgency or you'll procrastinate. You'll say, oh, well, I could do that tomorrow, right? You'll say, I still have time because I've got till the end of the year, right? And then here's December, it's Christmas, and you're making the same resolution again. This is a perpetual cycle that many people get into, and many times it's difficult to break, right? So it's long enough to accomplish something meaningful, but short enough to manage like your urgency and focus if you're dealing with just 90 days at a time. Now, I want you to also think about how the year is actually set up. Yes, on the conspiratorial theory, we should have 13 months, but no, we only have 12, right? So that means that every 3 months is that first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. You've probably heard this in terminology of business analogies, if you will. So that would make sense to me that I would have 4 90-day pushes throughout the year. Not just one, but 4 if I could do it. If I'm starting late, like in our case, because we're just talking about this now and it's March 16th, well, guess what? April 1st is right around the corner. So I'm telling you this now so that you can prepare for a 90-day push starting in April, if that's what you'd like to do. Then that will go through April, May, and June, right? Through those 3 months is where you're going to try to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. But we want to make sure that you don't overgoal yourself so that you don't hit them. We've talked about that before. Many times people can't hit the goal because they don't know how to take the goal and break it up into bite-sized pieces that they can actually accomplish, right? So I want you to think about these things that I'm telling you. You have the opportunity for at least 4 90-day pushes per year, okay? If you miss one, then that means you have at least 3. If you fall short, it's okay. You pick yourself back up. And as you're going through those motions, you're going to learn whatever happened, whatever went wrong, and whatever you need to do to change for a positive effect in that next 90-day cycle. Now with me? Get me? Okay. So let's talk about why 90 is the magic number. Okay. We've talked about one of the magic numbers being 5 conversations per hour. That's super important. Or you need to get into an environment where you're talking to the masses all at one time. Beyond that, 90 days being the magic number is because there's a science to sustainable sprints, okay? If you say that you're going to do a 90-day finish, right, or a 90-day sprint, you have a visible finish line. If you're saying, I have this year to accomplish something, it's not that visible, okay? Your brain itself can see 90 days. It feels real, not abstract. You can count the weeks on your fingers, right? We've been doing that every week, counting the weeks, right? But then what happens is we start forming these habits. Going back to what I was talking about, being in that military mindset to where it ends up just being a habit, right? They say typically it takes 66 days to form a habit. 90 days locks in those new behaviors, and then it makes it automatic, right? So let's say you went through that first 90-day challenge and you got through it the whole 90 days. Well, guess what? You've instilled some habits that you can take and use towards that next 90-day sprint, right? This is why you see the successful marketers doing 90-day sprints. It's for these reasons, right? Also on a 90-day sprint, you have to maintain urgency, right? Every week matters, especially if you keep coming here, you're staying close to the fire, and then you're doing what you need to do throughout the week. You can't afford to waste any time. Not 1 week, not 1 day. There's no all start next month mentality, right? This is the 90-day sprint. This is what we're going to do. The first day starts and we set it in motion and we don't stop until those 90 days are over. All right. I mentioned earlier, there's 4 quarters in a year. That means you got a quarterly reset. Right? If something isn't working, I briefly mentioned that. You find out fast. Like you find out, okay, well, this part didn't work. You know, we're going to have to change this and make that adjustment and then try again. Right. So then the next 90-day sprint that you go into, you'll be able to accomplish more because of what you learned off of that last 90-day sprint. Then if you keep doing it this way, it will be consistent. It will be in your consistent nature to keep doing it this way, right? I want you to think about it though, for 90-day sprints, 1 year of focused execution that beats 365 days of, oh, I'll get around to it. Right? Everybody with me? Yeah? Okay. So here's the actual structure in case you've never seen this before. Want to be able to break it down for you guys so that you know and have a clear idea of what you need to do or what you need to plan for April 1st if you're going to do this. I highly recommend you do. I can't make you do it though, right? All I can do is give you the information, can't do the work for you. So here's the actual structure. Break it down to stay on track. Write this down, take a screenshot if you need to so that you know what's going on. Your first month is going to be pretty much the foundation. You hear me and Virgil talk about this all the time. System, 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 system. That first month, if you don't have a system already created, it should be built entirely on building that system, right? Establishing what habits that you're going to take. Is it 9 o'clock in the morning that you start? Is it 10 o'clock in the morning? Is it once a week that you have a team meeting? What is it that you're going to do? Write all that stuff down so you have a clear idea of how that 90-day sprint is going to even be structured from the beginning. If you have no structure, it's going to be it's going to be crazy. I'm telling you now. So have some type of structure. Expect that things will go wrong, right? Hope for the best, expect the worst, right? But that first month, if you don't have your system set up, that's what I would be doing. This month's all about setting up for your success, okay? So the beautiful thing about this, though, is that once you've done this, you've gone through that 90-day sprint, you don't have to worry about that first month of foundation anymore because your system's already set. That means that gives you a little extra time so that you could get into the acceleration portion of it, right? You want to execute at full speed, systems are working, habits are forming. This is where the momentum kicks in. And on this month 2 acceleration part, just so we're clear, this is where the conversations come into play. Okay. This is where the 5 conversations per hour come into play, or you having a webinar with 100 or more people on it. Okay. Those conversations are what's going to build up that compression that you hear me talk about. So that as people decide that it's their time, that they start filling in those spots because of the compression that you've created with the conversations. Maybe some of those conversations may be, well, I'm not ready right now, but I'll be ready at the first of the month, right? Because we know people get paid typically on the 1st and 15th. Some people may have to wait for that. It happens all the time, right? People may want to get into the business, but not be able to afford it. It's happened to me several times, right? I had to wait to get into the business. That's once I had the money, then I would jump in and then boom, we'd get started, right? But month 2 should be your acceleration month. That's where you should be kind of rocking and cruising along, having all those conversations, putting people into your CRM, putting them in the like, try, or buy column, right? And then month 3, completion. Push to the finish. Refine what's working, cut what isn't, and then cross the line strong. That may mean that you might have to do follow-ups. But when we do follow-ups, as I mentioned before, we're not going out there to say, hey, Rita, did you take a look at that information? Are you ready to join yet? That's not how we follow up. Okay. That's not what I recommend. It's just a simple touch with that conversation or with that person for another conversation. Hey, how's it going? How's your day going so far? Haven't heard from you in a while. How's life going? Yada, yada, yada. Talk, change state. Then, hey, so remember we talked about such and such? Did you come to any decision on that yet? Everybody clear what I'm saying? Have the conversation first. Don't Don't lead in. I'm telling you, this happened to me this weekend and it pissed me off. Don't just lead in with the sale. Very important that you guys understand this, because if you lead in with the sale first or lead in with that follow-up first, it's an easy way for people to reject you. And I don't want you to be rejected. Okay. We want to do everything in our power so that people come to us and they're not rejecting us because we're over there trying to bother them and they're not ready. Right. So talk about a weekly rhythm. Every week has the same structure, right? So when you get into that next week, review last week's results. What happened last week? How many conversations did you have? How many closes did you do? That's going to give you your conversion rate, right? Maybe it's 20, maybe it's 30, maybe it's 50. That will tell you how many conversations you need for this next week, right? So you plan. What are those priorities? If I came short on this week, we need to not fall short on this week. That means we need to increase however many conversations we're having so that we can adjust for whatever that closing rate is. Make sense? Okay. Very important that you guys gather this. And if you have any questions, please, please, please don't be afraid to ask. But there's a rhythm that happens that's going to create those results if you get into the groove of doing these 90-day sprints. Again, you can do it 4 times a year. Right now, we're in the middle of what would be a sprint. So I wouldn't say start a 90-day sprint in the middle of the month. Right? I'd say at the beginning of the month, preferably every quarter. And I wouldn't do it in the middle of a quarter. I would get my stuff straight so I knew, okay, on this date, we're going to start a 90-day sprint. This is what we're going to need. These are our assets. These are our systems. These are our questions. Boom, let's roll. Okay. So that's the actual structure to it. Foundation, acceleration, completion, in case you've never heard that before. Now, let's talk about setting your 90-day target, because this is ultimately super important too. You've heard me talk about why people don't hit their goals. It's mostly because they have illusions of grandeur, if you will, right? Like, as an example, with my weight loss, I was not, and I never will be, the person that says, oh, I need to lose 40 pounds by July so that I got a beach body and I can go hang out, in my mankini, right? None of that happens. None of that happens. It happens with what we were jokingly talking about, and Jorge is like closing my mouth, right? Watching what I'm intaking, paying attention. And even there, without going too far down that rabbit hole, we've been taught the wrong way for many, many years. We've been taught that we must eat, or we should be eating 3 times a day, when guess what? Not even that is right. You can look at, again, without too much conspiracy theory, almost 99% of the shit that we're taught is wrong, incorrect. Look at the health pyramid, the food pyramid for the United States that was just miraculously discovered that it's been done wrong this whole time. Right? Like, it's crazy to me. But anyway, back to what we're talking about and how you'll set your 90-day target. Here's what the goals must accomplish. So we use what we call the 3 C's test. Okay? First is clear. I want you to be clear on what your goal is. So it's not, I want to grow my business. It needs to be clear. Maybe it's, I want to add 3,000 a month in recurring revenue. Now, 3,000 a month might sound like a lot to you guys. You might want to even start smaller. Maybe it's 100 in recurring revenue. Maybe it's 250. Maybe it's 300. Maybe it's 500. You don't have to start at 3,000. You understand me? Like, if you're starting at 3,000, this is me telling you your goal is way too big for 3 months. Unless you're doing high ticket sales, then that's only 3 sales at $1,000. Like, I could do 1 sale per month and I could hit those goals. But that's a one-time fee, right? If I'm getting paid $1,000, that doesn't mean that I'm getting recurring revenue. We need to be very clear about this, okay? You need to set a dollar amount so that you know exactly when you've hit it. And it doesn't have to be 3,000, guys, okay? It does not have to be 3,000. And in fact, I would prefer that most of you guys shoot for like 500, right? Because 500 is the average amount that will literally ruin a person, right? Rita and I talk about this all the time. $500 can literally change somebody's life, crazy as it sounds. But we have to be clear in our intention and what our actual goal is. Second C is challenging. It should make you slightly uncomfortable. Okay. And I hope $500 does make you slightly uncomfortable, especially if you're at zero or if you've never made money before. Right. But if you put a goal on yourself and you're 100% sure you can do it, you're thinking too small. Bump it up just a little bit. Bump it up just a little bit. I'm not saying a lot, but bump it up just a little bit so that you're a little uncomfortable, so that that uncomfort forces you to act. I know it sounds crazy, but allow the uncomfortableness to allow you to act. And then the third C is controllable. Focus on actions, not outcomes that you can control, right? And this goes back to me telling you guys about the 5 conversations per hour. If I'm having 5 conversations per hour, I know that that's trackable. I know it's measurable. If I know that I close, let's say 2 out of those 5, then I know that I'm closing at 20%. That tells me I had to have more conversations, right? Maybe it's 100 conversations instead of 20, or having 100 conversations to get those 20 new clients, right? You have to determine what your closing ability is so that you know what those numbers are. Make sense? So very important to pay attention to that. Here's the power of one focus, okay? Why most people fail their 90-day sprint. You have one primary goal. Here's the trap, right? The trap is in your mind. You'll say, I'll grow revenue and lose weight and learn a new skill and fix my marriage. It sounds ambitious when you're saying it like that. Actually, it guarantees failure, right? Because you're dividing focus and you're thinking about a few things at the same time, right? The truth is you want to pick one domino, one thing, that one that when it falls, makes everything else easier or unnecessary, right? As I mentioned, maybe it's one little thing like, hey, you stop eating donuts at 6 a.m. in the morning or chocolate milk or whatever it is, right? Those one little things, that's the stuff that I'm talking to you guys about that I focus on that actually helps me accomplish whatever goals that I put my mind to. And the reason it is because of that one focus, right? And you can, don't get me wrong, I need to be clear on what I'm saying. You can have many things that you need to accomplish. You can have many goals that you want to achieve. But your primary goal is to focus on one at a time. Okay? Be very clear with that. What's your one thing? Write it down for the next 90 days that you want to focus on. And feel free to put it in the chat. What's one thing for the next 90 days that you want to focus on? Put it in the chat if you would, and then take that mental note, right? And focus on that one thing. Now, I want to go and talk to you about the weekly check-in system because this is almost already set up for you, kind of, right? Kind of with the Monday Mastermind because we meet every week. And I ask you, like, what are your wins for last week? All right. So weekly check-in system doesn't necessarily have to be in here, but if you have the ability, and like I was mentioning, to Mikey, have a group, have an accountability partner, have people that you're working with, right? Right? So review for 5 minutes. What worked? What didn't? Did you hit your targets? And be brutally honest with yourself, right? Nobody's going to see this but you, right? You can do this all by yourself. Just look at the data. Okay, last week, what actually happened? What did we accomplish, if anything? What worked? What didn't? Right? Now we recalibrate based on last week. What needs to change? We see the physical changes that need to happen based off of whatever that data was that we got last week. We tweak it, right? We take out our screwdriver. We take out our hammer. We adjust the approach just a little bit. but we don't adjust the goal. The goal must remain the same. It's the adjustments in between start to finish that we recalibrate and adjust whatever our approach is. Okay. Third, recommit. Right. Set 3 priorities for this coming week, not 10, only 3. Right. The ones that are going to move you closest to whatever that 90-day target is. Think about what we were talking about. What are those dominoes that you need to set into place so that when one goes down, the rest just start falling? Okay. And then number 4, write down your commitments. Look, I know you guys have heard this before because we talked about it. You can sit here and you can think all these things all you want. You can have all these grandeur goals and things that you want to accomplish. But if you don't write them down, odds are a lot of it may not happen. Right? The reason we want to write it down because that literally like cements it in your subconscious mind. Anything we can cement into our subconscious mind, the reality of it actually happening is at least 90 times better, right? So we don't want to just say it. We want to actually write it down. This week, my 3 priorities are, this week, my commitments are, whatever the fact is, right? Tell somebody. Maybe it's your accountability partner, right? If you're running with somebody, y'all should be talking on a daily basis. I know Rita and I talk quite a bit. Right? Have somebody there. Don't do it yourself. Have somebody there, somebody you can relate to, somebody you can connect with. They don't even have to be in your downline, my friends. Right? I network with people that are not even in my downline. I had another guy that I've known for years that wants to work with me. He's like, hey, did you get into this already? I'm like, yep, already got shown that, buddy. He's like, damn, it would have been nice to work with you. I said, yeah, it would have been. Right? So use a weekly check-in system for yourself, determine what's going on, what you need to make changes, have an accountability partner if you can as well, or even a group, right? Now, here we're going to go into the sprint multipliers. We got to go through these slides pretty quick. Got about 6 minutes before the end of the hour. Here's 5 tactics that are going to 10x your 90-day results, okay? Take a screenshot, write down notes, whatever you need to do. Public commitment. Whoa, wait a minute. This sounds a lot like telling your story. Tell people your goal. Post it, right? The fear of public failure is a powerful motivator. If you say, hey, this April, I'm starting a 90-day run to add an extra $500 per month in my commission. Who's with me? Holy crap. Holy crap. Think about that. That alone just popped out of my mouth. Could potentially bring you a couple of clients or people that want to work with you, and you'll work together on adding that $500 in the next 90 days. If they're in your downline and you teach them how to make that extra $500 per month, do you think that they're going to leave? Anyone? If you teach somebody how to earn an extra $500, do you think that they're going to leave? Do you think that they're going to cancel? The answer is no. Right? If you teach somebody how to make an extra $500 per month, they're going to love you to death for it. They'll let you babysit their kids, you know? So, secondly, accountability partner. I can't stress this enough. Most of you, if not all of you, know the loss of my buddy Brett was tragic to me over the past 2 years. It's been very difficult. Not to say the least that Rita has made it very easy for me to have some kind of accountability partner in the loss of Brett. But I can honestly say, if Rita wasn't there to pick me up from the loss of my dear friend, I don't know what I would have done. I really don't. When I look back, I don't know. I don't know what would have happened, right? So get your accountability partner. It's very, very important. Third, environment design, right? Remove friction from good habits and add friction to bad ones. Let me explain this in case you guys don't know what I mean by this. Removing friction from good habits means something to the effect of oh, well, I primarily work 2 hours a day. That's pretty good for me. I maybe add an extra hour. Add friction to the bad ones. Yeah, I suck. I can typically only make like 3 conversations per hour. Maybe I should do 2 hours, right? Make the right choice, the easy choice is what I'm saying to you. What's going to be the easy choice for you, even if it's a bad habit, to add friction to so that you move forward? The goal is to constantly keep moving forward. Just like you hear Virgil talking about all the time. Consistency, moving forward. Every week, there's something new to add to it, right? And then fourth, progress tracking, which we've already discussed. What gets measured gets managed. Track daily. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. If you're not taking down your numbers, you're not looking at your data, you're not going to know where you're at, where you're starting, and what direction you're going. It's an easy, clear way to have a roadmap so you know what you're doing. Okay. But you must measure what you're doing. How many conversations did I have? How many of those went to a presentation? How many of them said that they weren't interested? All of those little nuances need to be tracked, guys. I'm telling you, it's so, so important, especially at the beginning stages, so that you learn these things to where eventually maybe you don't have to. Maybe you'll be able to just look and say, okay, I know exactly what went wrong. Like you guys have heard me say before, I know when I get a no from somebody, I know exactly where I screwed up in my presentation because I've done it so many times, right? So make sure that you're monitoring whatever progress you're making, right? Make sure you're looking at that data. It's so, so important. And then lastly, reward milestones, right? Celebrate 30 and 60-day marks. Small wins keep you motivated for the big finish. Look, if you didn't make that $500 in the first 30 days, that's okay. That wasn't your goal. Your goal was to do it within the next 90 days. So if out of that 500, you added, let's say, an additional 100, that's a win. That's just like every Monday we come in here and we talk about our wins. That's a win. Woo! Hey, that first month I managed to maintain or get an extra $100 monthly in my bank account. We got 2 more months so that we can increase it from 100 to 500. Make sense? This can also be considered, if you haven't heard me saying this before, Rita knows what I'm talking about, closing the loop. Right? Closing the loop. So rewarding yourself, even if it's in text, for something that you actually accomplished. By closing the loop, you're telling your subconscious, hey, you did a good job. We're going to keep going to get more, right? Again, all this shit, it's all psychological, guys. You have to literally learn how to get into your own head, okay? But here's what's going to happen. A year from now, you wish you had started today. So start, okay? You have 90 days. Again, I'm not saying today. It's March 16th. It's not the right day for you to start a 90-day push. But it is the right day for you to get prepared for a 90-day push to become in April. Because if you're following me on Facebook, that's exactly what you're going to see from me. April 1st, you're going to see a post on my Facebook. Here begins the 90-day stretch. Who's with me? I'm going to utilize that post to see who's interested and get those people on board with whatever it is that I'm doing. Okay. So get a plan together is what I'm saying. Okay. Launch your 90-day sprint. These are your assignments. Okay. Number one, define your one goal. What's the single most important thing you want to achieve in the next 90 days if you start in April? What is that goal? Write it down using the 3C test that we talked about: clear, challenging, and controllable. Know what it is. It needs to be clear. Have it be a little challenging, but it must be controllable. Okay. Number two, you're going to break it into monthly milestones. What does success look like at that 30-day mark? How about the 60-day mark? And then what about the 90-day mark? Create checkpoints so you know if you're on track. Very important, guys. I can't stress it enough. If you're not looking at the data, you don't know how to read the numbers, then you're going to be a little hard pressed to move into that next section or next week or those next 30 days without knowing what you've already done. Okay. Number 3, schedule your weekly check-ins. Right. I've mentioned this before. Pick a date and a time, put it on your calendar, make it non-negotiable. Every Monday for the past 4+ years, this has been non-negotiable for me. Non-negotiable. There is no, oh, I can't make it today because I got a dentist meeting. The wife is sick. I'm sick. None of that. None of that bullshit. I don't sit here and make any excuses for anything. This to me is non-negotiable. Every Monday, 12 Eastern Standard Time, rain, snow, shine. I'm like the mailman. Right? I'm going to deliver. Period.com. So at this point in time, I'd like to open it up to the floor and tell me what your takeaways were, if any. Right? What's your biggest takeaway from today? What are you going to be doing differently this week? Because that's really what I want to know. What are you going to do differently this week that you didn't do last week? And are you going to actually prepare for a 90-day sprint? Because if you are, I would love to be able to support you on that sprint. You know, make sure that we're connected. Make sure I see your posts. I'll drop the loves. I'll drop the comments because that's what I do. Anybody got any takeaways from today that they'd like to share?
The sprint multipliers, I love it. And the what was it? Oh, the check-in system, the 4 R's.
Yes.
Review, recalibrate, recommit, record. I love that. What I think it's Tony Robbins had a system, plan, do, review.
Okay.
So, this is very similar, but adding the recording of it, that's kind of part of the system. You have to be able to record in order to review.
Right.
But I just loved having the 4 R's and having that recording piece actually its own R.
For sure.
So it gets a particular focus.
Right. I'm going to tell you guys brutally honest, as I always am. This information wasn't taken from Tony. In fact, I've never really followed him. I haven't gone to any of his trainings. He's been somebody that I looked up to because of the type of person that he is. I've seen tons of his videos, but I've never actually spent money for his courses. One thing that we did do, Rita and I, we went to Unleash the Power Within. I want to say it was a couple weeks ago. And what I found very interesting about that whole ordeal was it solidified all of the things that I had learned throughout my tenure. And I'm only saying this because I can only be 100% truthful with you guys. Look, I never read, I literally, guys, I have this book. I've never read Think and Grow Rich. I've never read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I've never read all of these other things that you hear. I learned them from really great mentors. Really great mentors. So however it is that makes you feel better, whether it's Tony's, whether it's the information that we're getting in here, or whether it's a combination of those things, whatever's going to make you more comfortable and give you the most results, I highly recommend you follow that path. Right? But if you're not doing the basic things that I'm mentioning to you here, expect that it's all going to go to wash. If you're not taking down your data, reviewing that data, looking at it so you actually know what you've done and where you need to go, then don't expect that your first 90-day push is going to be a successful one. Again, I'm only speaking to you from experience. Only experience, right? But if you plan it the right way, you start now, you get all your ducks in a row, get ready for that 90-day push. Start maybe even telling people, hey, I'm going to do a 90-day push. Are you interested in it? Start gathering up the team. Like I've talked about this before. You could pre-build something before you build it. Find the people that are interested in going on that run with you. Right? You might even put a post out today. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. I'm considering doing a 90-day push in April. Who's with me? Gather your audience right now. This is very important, I'm telling you. Oh, don't take my words for haste. Gather your audience, my friends, because that's what's going to make the big difference, right? So I want to close in saying, remember, you have 4 chances every year to transform your life. Each 90-day sprint is an opportunity to become someone new. Ooh, give me. See those goosebumps right there? Woo! Somebody new, baby. Start today. Focus on one thing. Check in every
Thank
week.
you.
In 90 days, you will not recognize yourself. Okay? So I want to say thank you. I appreciate y'all being here. You make my Monday, you make my week. I love each and every one of you, and I look forward to each and every one of you guys' success. Next week is going to be week 12. Why your why isn't strong enough. So that being said, let's have a fantastic day. Go out there, kick ass, take names, and we'll see you guys on How To Tuesday and Wednesday with Virgil and myself. And also see you next Monday. Toot, love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
It was a good session. It puts a structure to action.
Yes, absolutely. That's the plan. That's the goal as we meet every Monday. Appreciate you.